Where I'm thinking is a best salary cap ranked defensive lineup. Great question from MC Champ 16. This guy's bold. I like it. The guy's already calling himself the Madden Challenge champ for this year, Madden 16. If he's not Serious Mo, then I don't know what this guy's talking about. But this is my current lineup, and listen, I'm going to have to go with my current lineup as saying this is currently the best defensive lineup in the game. And the reason I'm saying that this is the best lineup is there's a lot of versatility with what you can do with this lineup. I can play 3-4, I can play 4-3, I can play nickel 3-5 odd, I can play big dime 1-4-6, and I can play quarters 3 deep. And I have great success in all those formations. And I think where I get the most value out of this lineup is at the linebacker in position, because I'm getting a lot of success with guys like Brandon Watts as a blitzer, Nate Askew as a user, and my favorite guy right here, Marquise Spurwell off the edge with great speed and at 88, and then his hit power with 91. I'm typically always blitzing my outside linebackers in 3-4 from Spurwell and Watts. And the importance of their speed and acceleration is what makes them so valuable for the defense out of the 3-4. And then you got Shaq Thompson for coverage, and then you got Nate Askew, just straight down, goon. Straight down one of the best user defenders I've had the entire season. Maybe because I've been playing a lot of salary cap ranked that like it accentuates it. It makes it him appear to be better than he is. But I love Askew. I love him as a user defender. A couple of other guys I have are Toomer, just for his athleticism, again, 5 cap value, good speed. And then Zumwalt, again, low cap value, but 81 speed, but 92 hit power. So that's why he's there. And again, Watts and Askew. These guys are all there because they're low cap value, but they still provide some athleticism and some key stats. At free safety, for 50 cap value, I find this is kind of a great area. You can go like Ed Reed range, and you can kind of get up into a higher area, and you get to 56, 58, 60 cap value. But I like what Von Bell brings to the table in terms of his speed, his hit power, and then of course great high zone coverage. I can get you into a guy like a Glover Quinn if you take a look at cap value. I love comparing guys you start to settle in on an area where it feels good, like this is a good price to spend at this position. Like right out the gate, guys, I can't spend 76 cap value at my safety. Like it just, you feel that it's not right. So then you kind of keep going down and you're looking, and like you start seeing like corners. You see Janoris Jenkins, you see Chris Harris, you see Gilmore, you see all these corners, you see Marcus Peters, and you're starting to see it like it shape out like where you probably should be spending a cap value on corners. It's right around like that high 60s, low 60s range, high 50s range. And then you get into safety play, and you start to nestle in and see where that can be. Like you see that there's Atwater 50, 58. This Cam Chancellor, while it's good, not quite where it needs to be. Again, 62 cap value, so you're overpaying for the 102 hit power, low zone coverage. But Sean Taylor nestles into 58. Then you can go down to Ronnie Lott for 56. Here's the Brian Dawkins, good value there. Same with Ed Reed. So we're starting to nestle into like high 50s, low 60s is where probably safety, like elite safety play is. And then you kind of get into this tier where you're getting the 48 cap value. And this is where I start to see a drop off. I get into a guy like Deion Buchanan. I love Buchanan. Good speed. He's got good height, good size. But zone coverage a little low. Like his hit power, a little low. Look into a guy like a Glover Quinn. Love his speed. Love his zone coverage. But hit power, a little low. If I could get somewhere else, it'd be better. You get a little lower, like Cam Chancellor. Like, okay, hit power, speed. Zone coverage is 87. Not what it needs to be. Dante Whitner. Zone coverage 84. Not what it needs to be. Eric Weddle. Hit power, nowhere to be seen. Speed, nowhere near to be seen. And then you start dropping into the 40s range, and you're like, okay, now these guys just aren't going to cut it either. Like, is Eric Reed 40 range? He's got the speed and hit power, but his own coverage too low. So that's how I'm like deciphering how I'm getting into that range of like, okay, this is what is probably appropriate for me to spend at a position. So I really like 50. I like the Von Bell there. That's a little bit of the insight of like how I'm getting to that area in the world. Great question. Sorry, I'm seeing in the chat from W Pool. Is Trey Walker worth $1.5 million for regular mutt? I love Trey Walker. I think he's a really nice item. I love the strength. I love everything he brings. I think his hit power, I'd like to see a little more hit power if I'm going to play a lot of zone with him. But I've had a lot of success with the Trey Walker, so I'll just say that about him. My other safety is Atwater. Lower zone, but he plays up in the box a little bit more as a linebacker type. Julio Jones, specifically there as a user defender in the quarters 3 deep. Now I've thought about switching him out, maybe going that Eric Reed, but I do like the 6'3" frame. I originally had Megatron, but Megatron a little too expensive for me to get him in that position with the rest of my squad. Now my defense is kind of primarily I focused more on I said who are zone coverage corners with hit power that I can get by with and play man to man. So believe it or not, this golden ticket Dion, 90 hit power, and he also gives you 103 man coverage and 101 zone coverage. So I'll take the best corner in the game. I'm overpricing here at cap value with him. Like I've thought about taking him down a little bit to extend resources elsewhere. Like right now, I'm struggling a little bit with Honey Badger at number 3 corner, but I am primarily playing a lot of cover 3 zones, cover 4, cover 2 zones. So Honey Badger, he kind of get by there. And then I got Nitrain Lane, 94 man. Again, I play primarily more zone, but Nitrain can do both. And then on my 4th corner, for value here, lower speed but great man coverage. Vontae Davis, really, he'll defend tight ends for the most part. So I'm okay with the 87 speed because he's got the 95 man coverage, and I love the 36 cap value price for those stats. Defensive line, Jarvis Jones, 92 power move. I'm just looking for value here. I like the 22 range, the 22 cap value range. Some good players there. Jarvis Jones and Shaq Barrett, 2 of the better guys. Barrett, 95 finesse move, and again, low cap value at 22. For D tackles, I'm going to tell you to go all in on the Strength Edition defensive tackles. These Strength Edition guys give you the most value. IMO. If you take a look, he's got 60 speed. That's okay, but he brings to the table 99 strength, 94 block shed, and 91 power move. That like Triforce, that's like a Triforce of beautiful stat ratings for 26 cap value. Like, for 26, we talked highly of the Ian Williams earlier in the night, but the Ian Williams is 34 cap value. So while it's not that big of a difference, it's still 8 cap value. And if when you're trying to pinch and save at every corner, that's John Randall. Gilbert Brown Strength Edition, also a very nice item that can go here. So he's 28 cap value though. So just keep that in mind. Randall Strength Edition, very nice item. Paul Robinson, he's just the cheapest end I could get. And then Quan Alexander, just another one of those good low tank players, 5 cap value, but he kind of can do everything pretty well for a 55 overall linebacker. Good speed, acceleration, just an athletic, raw athletic guy. So